And I guess after that traumatizing incident, we have a bunch of waifus burst into our room. After being... what was the word? Rehab? It's not rehab, I don't know what you call it. But I guess like beyond the physical injuries, we also had to recover from the mental stress of being put through such an incident. Because I guess we were pretty young, right? We're like just high schoolers, really. So that's why the hospital and the doctors wanted to be extra careful and all that stuff. But anyway, after meeting our friends Masato and Iyahiko, I guess it's the waifu's turn. The waifus, plural. I startle out of my beauty sleep to find that Akira, Irie, and Elizabeth are seated in the chairs next to my bed. For a moment, my groggy mind scrambles to piece together reality. Right, hospital. They must be visiting me. Oh hey! Oh, sorry. Oh hey! Why can't I speak? Oh hey! It actually worked! He seems a bit disoriented. Well, we simply can't have that, can we? Sukamari? Or don't. Elizabeth clears her throat and arches an eyebrow in my direction. So, Yama Ishimoto. So, Elizabeth Oshiro. She suddenly lurches to her feet, glaring darkly at me. I want to know what the bloody hell you were thinking when you decided to do something so barmy. Barmy? Going to face a known serial killer? Alone? Unarmed? What were you planning to do? Sneeze on him? Her chiding catches me off guard, but it doesn't grate on my nerves. It actually seems caring in the weirdest way. Well, maybe she cared ever since the beginning. It's just her way of showing that. It is unavoidable. Yama is the protagonist. Irie, you breaking the fourth wall here. Precisely! It's exactly something that, say, the main character of a novel would do. Well, this isn't a bloody novel. Correct. It's a visual novel. I guess it is. We're just obliterating that fourth wall, aren't we? You know what? I'm not even going to ask. Yeah, that one's beyond me. Or that's beyond even me. I relax against my pillows. Their energetic presences, I can't say presences, plural of presence. Light up the room. I hadn't realized how much I missed just being an ordinary kid, hanging out with his friends and getting ready for university until now. Right, ordinary life, friends. I can just talk about normal stuff, stupid stuff. I clear my throat awkwardly, struggling for words. So, how's school been? Wait, you're asking about school? Who are you, and what have you done with Yama Ishimoto? Well, it's a welcome break from thinking about serial killers. You speak truth. She turns to Elizabeth, as if deferring to authority. Elizabeth smiles appreciatively. Well, the Academy's been fighting it off as long as possible, but they were finally forced to shut down. Just today, actually. The public scandal was too much for them to bribe off, apparently. The police are currently conducting an investigation to see how deep this murder scheme goes, and why it seems to center around Yahiko Ikari. Before I can stop it, my brain automatically kicks back into investigation mode. Well, have they found anything yet? Unfortunately, no. It's unusual, actually, how clean and tidy these killings are. There's no ties to any faculty, no apparent motive, no links to any accomplices, and Mr. Ryota had gone off his trolley from the moment he'd been apprehended. So, I thought Ryota died, but I guess he's alive? I guess he's in the custody of the police right now, which might not be a good thing. If he's still kicking around. Since he does have a connection with the police, he might be let loose again. Maybe. Nothing he says makes any sense. I briefly recall a discussion about Aztec gods and blood rituals. It seems so far away. Yeah, I'm not very surprised. But why could he mask his insanity so well while he was a dorm manager? It was practically a personality change. Hey, Elizabeth, Yama's supposed to be resting from that. It's fine, Akira. This is important stuff. Nope, you need to rest. Review his orders. I can rest as much as I want later. Isn't the academy closed? Actually, there's an interesting story behind that too. Akira expels an exaggerated sigh, but I'm already honed in on Elizabeth's words. What do you mean? Don't you find it odd that there are no reporters hovering around? That you haven't received a single request for an interview? Maybe I'm not cute enough. Oh, for the love of... They haven't been around Ryu's room either. Well, when she puts it that way, it's definitely suspicious. I would have thought that this kind of juicy scandal would draw reporters like carrion birds to a corpse. So, there's no news coverage? They covered Mr. Ryoto's killing spree and arrest, but there's nothing on the closure of the academy. It's as if the National News Network is simply ignoring the fact it all happened at school. Wait, what? But the job of the news is to inform the people. One would hope, but in this case, there's no peep from them. Sober silence falls over the room. No news for closing the academy. Come to think of it, the NNN used to cover the murders extensively, but I haven't seen much from them recently. Or maybe that's just because I don't watch the news much. Well, we should get going. You need to rest up. She reaches out a hand as if to pat me on the shoulder, but suddenly withdraws it, looking away. Bye. She quickly runs out of the room. Elizabeth snorts, but her features eventually soften into, dare I say it, admiration. Rescuing Ryu was an admirable feat, Yama Ishimoto. Utterly batty, perhaps, but admirable. With these parting words, she turns on one heel and strides away. Irie's the only one left. Her gaze fixes on me, almost like she's examining an alien specimen. Well, I guess... you broke the fourth wall, Irie. Is this canon? Do you know we're in a video game? No, what is it? You seem... uncomfortable. Actually, this bed's really nice. Not that kind of... uncomfortable. I wait for her to elaborate, but she doesn't say anything more. She only slips back into her chair. I can sing. Singing can help you sleep. Oh, thanks. Something about the weight of her words makes me think that this is more than an offer to sing. It's almost an expression of trust. I like that. Irie smiles just the teeniest bit, then closes her eyes. The intricate melody that spills from her lips practically eases my muscles into butter. I'd forgotten how nice her voice sounded. It barely takes me any time before I've slipped away from consciousness. I wake up on my own this time. I fully expect the room to be vacant, to be accompanied by only by the ticking of the clock, to be utterly silent, but instead I'm greeted with the sight of a girl seated in the chair beside my bed. Wait, not girl, woman. Shigure. She doesn't even look up from... is that a book she's reading? No, files. Long files, apparently. Ah, Ishimoto, you're awake. Or sleep-talking. Highly improbable. I smirk at that. Even Shigure seems to be smiling. So what brings you to my humble abode? Shouldn't you be working? Ryota has already been apprehended. I see no further need for my presence to be at my presence in the precinct. At the precinct, oh, whatever. What, really? Shigure's eyebrow gives the barest twitch of irritation. Or is there more to this story? Like, maybe, I don't know, they officially considered the case closed, so you're no longer granted access to the investigation? Bullseye. That's kind of strange. Aren't you the reason why they managed to get Ryota in the first place? I expect her to explode in a fit of intricate insults, but instead, she hunches over as if a large weight is bearing down on her shoulders. There are unusual movements in Izumu, Ishimoto. Something is stirring beneath the surface, something bigger than any of us could ever imagine. And I'm the chosen one, born to master the 5 elements and take down the ultimate evil in this world. Absolutely not. Then maybe the shining sword of the chosen one. Oh please, at best you are a blunt arrow, sharper than an average rock, but only just. Ouch. Can you give me back the Shigure from 3 months ago? I liked her better. I'm afraid she will never make another appearance. But when she snaps the file shut, her smirk softens into a genuine smile. It is good that you did not die, Ishimoto. Although I am uncertain of its relevance, I told myself that as soon as you were coherent, I might relate my story to you. What's that supposed to mean? You may have noticed my certain unusual reaction to your phone call. I knew that you wouldn't have believed me. You never even needed me as your assistant in the first place. I wouldn't have believed you. But you didn't even try. I would have believed you. I would. If you just trusted me. Now that you mention it, I'd never seen Shigure that emotional, not even when we ran into Natsuki. For time's sake, as well as the sake of your interests, I shall keep my tale short. Okay, time to learn her backstory. Despite her confident start, she gives a marked pause before she continues. I get the feeling that she hasn't talked about her story very often. Somehow, the idea makes me feel special. I was difficult to get along with in my youth. Only in your youth, I think automatically, but I keep my mouth shut. Most decide to keep their distance from me. As a method of coping, I kept the books. Hence her occasional bursts of ridiculous vocabulary, I guess. Does that really make you have such a grasp, such a masterful grasp on the English language just from reading? Though I guess we're in Japan, right? I always forget where the setting of this visual novel is in Japan, so technically she would be speaking Japanese, right? Anyway. For the most part, the majority of my peers were inane and superficial. Losing their acquaintanceship was no loss. However, one day, a boy approached me. The very traits that others hated so much about me, he found it fascinating. Oh, how cheesy. He became my truest friend over time. I have few memories apart from him. We even decided to engage in matrimony as we studied in university. After, of course, we found stable jobs. I finished my schooling within 2.5 years, at which point I began my detective agency. Wait, 2.5 years? That sounds crazy. She must have taken max units, enrolled in classes over interim, or interterm, and studied without breaks. Yeah, I guess she just fast-tracked her way to graduation. I dearly loved my field of study, and greatly looked forward to my field of work. Aside from the late nights, it was of no difficulty. Somehow, I find that hard to believe. What did you study, Shigure? Was it, I assume, maybe criminal justice? Or something similar? That's why she opened that detective agency, right? At any rate, one of my first cases was working in conjunction with the police. There was a particularly vicious triple murder closely related to the family of my betrothed. Okay, that's interesting. Though her first case was with the police? No. Because usually, when you're a detective, usually anyway, you work in law enforcement first, right? As a police officer, then you get promoted to detective, and then when you decide to be, to work alone, or not alone, but work in a private manner, as a private detective, that's when you stop being a police detective and just be your own detective to work for clients and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know, come on, I'm pretty sure Shigure is a genius and stuff. She probably has connections too, so that's probably why she just her first case was with the police, I guess. Because now that I'm thinking about it, another way for you to be a private detective is not just be a police officer, but to just work in a similar field and then transfer to be to being a detective, or be a apprentice, right? Get an apprenticeship or something similar, be an intern or something like that to a detective agency or to another private detective, and learn from them, and then become your own detective after a few years, something like that. I don't know. Well, whatever. Enough about her career path. She was talking about a triple murder from her betrothed's family, I guess. His family. He put forward a suspect. I believed his mind to be clouded by emotion and disregarded it. So he left and found another detective. Okay, so that's pretty disheartening, actually. Her beloved didn't trust her enough. I winced at the idea. That must have really hurt her pride. Shigure notices my reaction and raises an eyebrow. It was a sore betrayal, Ishimoto. My pride was not the only aspect that was in pain. It may be akin to Ryu losing trust in you, even though you thought that she, of all people, would continue to support you. Just the thought sends me reeling. I quickly decide to not consider it again. The suspect that my betrothed put forward was eventually, as I suspected, found to be innocent. Except, no sooner after receiving his verdict, the allegedly innocent man tracked my betrothed's residence and... She pauses, the edges of her expression crumple, but she holds strong. There was another murder that day. One I could not handle. Oh. All I wished for was to take back my actions. I wished that he had believed in me, and that I had believed in him. So when I had run around by myself, when I was planning on facing Ryoda by my own initiative, no wonder she was so panicked. How tragic. We call that, irony. Or is there, isn't there what is it called, literary device? Something called, dramatic irony, I guess? I guess that's what you would call it. A repeat in history. A sickening time loop. Shigure doesn't deserve that. Well, thank you for telling me. She only shrugs wordlessly. It may help you resolve when it comes to Ryui. Learn from my mistakes, Ishimoto. This is my gravest instruction. What do you mean? What does it have to do with Ryui? Leave no regrets. That's all I mean. No regrets? Is she telling me to start dating Ryui? Just like everyone else? The thought seems odd. Kind of trivial. Maybe the past 3 months contribute to that. Shigure notes my uneasy expression and stands to her feet somewhat abruptly. Regardless. There are other matters I must see to, but you have earned a well-deserved rest, as well as this. She extends a flat white envelope to me, stamped with pay stub. Oh, we're getting paid finally? Wait, what's this? Your pay. I dare say it's deserved. But you never said you'd paid me. I mentioned it multiple times, actually. You simply did not listen. She pushes the envelope into my hand. My fingers numbly accepted. Wow. Thanks. It's unexpectedly generous of her. Farewell, Ishimoto. Rest up. She whisks out of the room, leaving me with the envelope. Well, I'd never thought she'd actually pay me. She didn't seem like the type. I mean, technically it's illegal to not pay you, but obviously employment laws aren't always enforced, so it's still nice. Hesitantly, I tear the envelope open and unfold the sheet of paper inside. It's an official-looking invoice with 3 printed lines, accompanied by a scribbled note. Income, 100,000 yen. Theme park tickets, negative 110,000 yen. Debt, 10,000 yen. However, as my magnanimity knows no bounds, I shall benignly waive your debt. S.E. Well, I guess we didn't get paid after all, technically. Ha ha ha. I totally should have seen this coming. I mean, to be fair, those tickets did cost a lot of money, probably. They did mention that it was expensive. Very well, Ishiyama, let us depart. Really? You're paying for everyone? Oh yes, with your future wages. Got him! I should have known something was up the moment Shigure started complimenting me. Nevertheless, I'm chuckling to myself even as I slip the pay stub back into the envelope. That's definitely more like Shigure. Still grinning, I settle back for some more sleep. I note with satisfaction that the heaviness in my limbs is much less substantial than before. And I wake to a soft knock at the door. At the door. Another visitor. Someone actually knocked. Who would have thought? Come in. And this time, it's Misaki who slips through the door. She wordlessly walks over to my side and embraces me. I stiffen awkwardly at her touch. Miki, I'm so glad you're okay, Yama. When I heard they were allowing visitors, I rushed here as soon as I could. I was starting to think that I would never see you again. She drops off into silence for a moment. I feel her fingers clutch at my hospital gown. Yahiko and Masato told me about the investigation, about your involvement with the case. Yeah, sorry for not telling you. You didn't have to. I just wanted to say you did well, Yama. The simple words make my throat swell. Before I can respond, she releases me, settling in the chair nearest my bed. I immediately take note of the stress weighing on her features. She looks a lot more tired than I remember. Yeah, she's probably worrying about you, in addition of her modeling job, right? Which is probably stressful already. Yama. Something wrong? It's just Something about the case still worries me. I guess she's thinking about the case as well. Have you heard about the recent uproar on Patter? Can't say that I have. Well, it seems the murders caused a political firestorm. People are angry at how the government handled the incident. Wait, why is the government getting backlash? Aren't the murders a local issue? Misaki shakes her head. After his re-election last week, Mayor Inori held a press conference. According to reports, Mr. Ryota was an immigrant. Not many are happy that a foreigner was able to murder innocent civilians within their borders. So the mayor blamed the Japan's government for granting amnesty to undocumented workers to compensate for the financial crash in 2007. I don't know, seems like a scapegoat to me. Well, that's politics for you. He even proposed for Isamu to break away from the country's incompetence by becoming an independent state. I can only remain in stunned silence at this revelation. Mayor Inori is using the murders as his political platform. With all of this attention revolving around Ryota, why is the Academy being excluded from the media? Do you know if they mentioned an Academy at all? They haven't. That's what worries me the most. It's almost as if... She trails off, seemingly lost in thought. As if what? As if someone were attempting to cover up the school's involvement. A cover-up? I know, it's a bit of a stretch, but listen to this. She retrieves her phone from her pocket. Remember how the Academy has quite a few sponsors? Oh, isn't that why it's so prestigious? You know, career day and all? Right. A lot of corporations have their fingers dipped into the Academy's reputation and all of that. Exactly. So I figured, what if they were afraid of people knowing they were affiliated with a school who hired a murderer? Then how were they able to censor the media? That, I still don't know. Yeah, normally, someone would speak up. You could for example, you could just post it on Patter and then the truth would eventually be leaked out, but apparently it's being censored. And I guess we don't know how powerful these corporations are in this setting, right? Because in the real world, in present times, there's no way something like this would be covered up so, airtight. But then again, who knows? There's a conspiracy going on. Oh no. Something is going on. She says this dejectedly, sinking into her seat. Can't seem to say words. I always stumble over words. It's unfortunate. Again, it's probably because I'm not really used to reading everything aloud. But now that I am, turns out there's a lot of words I can't pronounce. Yama. Yeah? Aren't you angry? Angry? And Mr. Ryota, not the media, at fate. You didn't deserve any of this. You've already gone through so much. Yet, it happened anyway. She clenches her fists, an uncharacteristic shadow veiling across her face. Maybe she's right. Maybe I should be angrier. But all I feel right now is just relief. Well, everyone's safe. That's all that matters to me. I see. She expels a heavy sigh. Seeing her this distraught is a little unsettling, to say the least. I guess these past few months haven't been easy on anyone, even Misaki. She should be fretting over entrance exams, or modeling stints, or social drama, not over her friends almost being murdered. This somber thought prompts me to ask her about school. Well, since the academy's closed, do you know where you'll be transferring? No. The shift in her eyes tells me she hadn't given it much thought. Have you been studying at least? Aren't the university entrance exams coming up soon? Who are you? My teacher? I'll take that as a no. School hasn't been my top priority lately. It never has been, to be honest. So you're not worried about getting into university? Not really. Now that I think about it, she never explicitly said she was planning on attending. So what are you doing after high school? The words slip from my mouth before I'm able to grasp what I just said. How ironic. I never expected I'd be the one to ask this question. I don't know. What about modeling? As much as I enjoy it, I don't think I'm fit for it. Why not? I thought you loved your job. I do, but... She averts her gaze, twirling her phone between her fingers. I went into the business for the wrong reasons. I thought it was an opportunity to experience something new, you know? I thought it would be easy. But it's not. I can't cope with the stress. I can't focus. I'm always irritable. Tell me, what company would want someone like that? Miki, you're not... But it's true, Yama. You've seen it. I never really think these things through. I just don't know what to do anymore. Too real. As strange as it is, Misaki seems genuinely concerned. I take a moment to really consider her situation. Well, the Misaki I know couldn't care less about failing. As long as she had fun doing what she wanted, that's all that mattered to her. If you really love being a model, then keep doing it. If you lose interest in that, you could always try something else. For a moment, Misaki's expression is unreadable. I'm afraid I've said something extremely cheesy, but she flashes a bright smile. Wise words from an old man. But she's a year older than me. Well, is that a typo, or she's a year older than me? Well, thank you, Yama. Nah, don't mention it. For some reason, the sincerity in her voice flusters me. Usually, she's the one giving me these kinds of pep talks. I suppose I should let you rest. I still need to speak with Riri. I'm sure you'll be alright? Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Miki. Of course. Rest well, Yama. After flashing one last smile, she strides out the door. It was surprising to see Misaki so anxious, but then again, it's only natural considering everything that's happening. The academy is being excluded from the media. The citizens are fed up with the government. Mayor Inori is calling for sovereignty. It seems change is imminent for Izumo. The fact that the murders have garnered so much attention on this scale still boggles my mind. Not wanting to dwell on it for too long, I force myself to clear my head. I can think more on this later. For now, I should focus on the people around me. That's probably all I can do. The next visitor comes around an hour after Misaki. Just a visitor after a visitor, but oh well, it's Riri. She's a regular visitor. She's dressed in her school uniform like she's just an ordinary student going to an ordinary school, ready to face another long day of ordinary classes and ordinary teachers. The sight is so ordinary that it makes my throat sore. After these past 3 months, after remembering how she dragged me through therapy, after all that she's been through, just looking at her makes me hopeful that life will, one day, return to normal. She kicks back in the chair by my bed, face shining with a typical grin. Morning, Laserhead. Morning? What's with the uniform? I don't know. I kind of missed it after a while. Also, the artist was too lazy to draw me in a different clothing, so this will do. Come again? I mean, it's not all that bad. Being forced to wear it kind of sucks, but when you don't have to wear it anymore, it feels weird. And like, hey, I'm still a second year. I have another 365 days before I become an old fogey. I flick her in the forehead with a mocking frown. Who you calling an old fogey? Who do you think? Are you sure you want to stick with that statement? What's that supposed to mean? You know, being an old fogey is a pretty good life. I get killer discounts, I don't have to work, I have a free pass to say any offensive thing I want. Nah, on second thought, never mind. Too late, now I have old person privileges. Heaven help us all. It's a little weird, teasing each other like this after we've just been through, after all what we've just been through. But I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, this would function as an amazing segue to a different topic of conversation. Oh no, don't do it! Speaking of old fogies, how are your parents doing? I hate you. I know. She kicks my bed a little, but petulantly responds. They've been visiting over the past few months. They couldn't come in here, though, because, you know, because I was isolated, because I was unstable. But I could leave to talk with them at any time. They're really thankful. It'd be nice if you could come over for dinner sometime. They'd like to talk to you about something. Anytime. Sounds like we're both going back to settle. Yeah, since school's closed, they want me to go back home. Probably tomorrow. Well, they'd visited earlier. You didn't see them? No, I was probably sleeping. Well, maybe. Did something happen? Oh, well, you know. Dad said that something important happened at work. He probably got caught up in it as usual. Well, that makes sense. Ryui bites her lip and meets my gaze. I really think that you should contact your parents. The air grows a little chilly. My fingers dig into the blankets. No need. The hospital probably has. Okay. We sit in silence for another moment as Ryu works to find words to say. Yama. But the door suddenly flies open and familiar faces pour into the room. Yahiko, Masato, Misaki, Akira, Elizabeth, and Airi all race to my bedside. Oh, everyone's here. Up and at 'em, coach! You have hereby been acquitted of all crimes. What? I think she means you're allowed to leave the hospital. And the doctors told you guys this, not me. Oh, come on, man. Only a pansy sits around and twiddles his thumbs when there's work to be done. In other words, you got tired of waiting. Well, technically, my good minion, Yama is officially released, all due to my considerable influence. I'm sure. Actually, the scary thing is that he's probably telling the truth. I really need to ask him about, well, everything. Eventually. Oh, get up already. Elizabeth suddenly seizes my arm and pulls me out of bed, shoving a handful of clothing in my face. Get dressed. We've something to show you. The others smile excitedly, poised on the tips of their toes. Ryui grins encouragingly. I'll lead the way. What's this? What are they gonna show me? After giving me a few moments to change into my spare uniform, we check out of the hospital and clamber into a limousine, supposedly paid for by Yahiko. Fancy. You know, you haven't been really taking advantage of being a friend to Yahiko, Yama. He's like super rich, right? So, I mean, think of all the video games you could play. You know? Anyway. The group's in a chatty mood as we wind down the streets to a familiar shopping complex by the academy. Laughter, jokes, and teasing chase away the tension in the air. We stop in front of Café de la Paix, or Paix, where Yahiko bounds up to the door and opens it with a flourish. Deja vu. After you, my good minions! Are we going karaoke again? Or, oh, I guess it's just a party. I'm floored as we step through the door. Colorful streamers and balloons are plastered around half of the cafe. Decorated letters proclaiming, "Welcome back, heroes! hanging from the ceiling. It's a stark contrast from the slick and sophisticated furnishing, but that doesn't stop my gratitude. This is for us? I certainly don't see anyone else. You guys? Ryu covers her face with her hands. I just... Thank you. Nah, nothing. Just a couple of balloons and streamers. I wanted to rent a dragon, but Elizabeth said it'd be a fire hazard. Not to mention the minor problem that dragons don't exist anymore. But do dragon maids exist? Anyway. Hey, don't forget who's paying for all of this. Praise me, praise me! Wow, to think that he would actually say that out loud. Well, thank you for your generosity. Elizabeth says these words plainly and honestly. Could they actually be getting along? But of course, my lady, this is pocket change in comparison to the Ikari family treasury. Elizabeth's good mood quickly falters, but Misaki's eyes light up in realization. Pocket change? Ikari wealth is insurmountable, lovely maiden. Truly, your generosity is unimaginable. How kind your spirit is to provide our lowly company with a bountiful feast of refreshments. Refreshments? Ah, so you agree? The hospitality of an Ikari is beyond measure. I shall make certain that all of my followers learn of this. All of your followers? Okay, Miki, that's just evil. I believe that 8 orders of high tea will be sufficient for our party. High tea? Now, time to write that pat. This is beginning to feel like extortion. Well, I guess, yeah, even if you're a friend of like a really rich person, you shouldn't take advantage of them, right? Okay. 8 orders of high tea, coming right up. The poor soul. I watch with sympathy as he slides over to the counter, attempting to flirt with the server for a discount. Meanwhile, Akira and Elizabeth have dragged these 3 tables together and arranged 8 chairs in an even ellipse. Have a seat. We've something special planned. Even more than all this? Huh. You didn't think that we'd drag your asses all the way here just to drink some plant water, did you? Elizabeth seems fairly offended at this disparagement of her beloved tea, but remains silent as Masato flings something out of his backpack. Ta-da! A heavy, ragged binder lands squarely in the center of the table, stuffed to the brim with stacks of paper. A binder. Oh, the last time I saw one of these was during the Edo period. I ain't that old. We're all surprised when Irie suddenly snatches the binder, flipping through it like a madman. She smiles, the closest thing I ever seen to a broad smile from her. It's an RP. Oh, are we playing D&D? Tabletop role-playing game? Yeah. Can I be GM? Her eyes are almost shining. I never seen her so happy before. Irie the Game Master. Well, sure. I was gonna do it if no one wanted, but... I want to. Huh. Role-playing. Who would have thought? You know, I've always wanted to do D&D with people, but, well... I don't have anyone to play D&D with, how sad. But I've watched other people play D&D, you know, online and stuff, and it looks very fun, you know. But I guess these guys are gonna have some fun as well. I didn't know you like board games, Masato. What? This ain't a board game? This is an artifact of story creation that weaves intricate tales of a hero's development. Me and the boys at home played it all the time. Little Hibiki had to be the healer though, because he couldn't sustain a good pounding. Was Was it live RP? Anyway, I have an ominous feeling about this. How exactly did you play RPGs? What do you call it? Like live RP? What do you call live RP, or is it like what do you? I can't remember. Like there's a form of like tabletop role playing where instead of playing on a table, you actually, you know, wear costumes and pretend to be the characters and all that. I don't know what it's called. Is it live RP or? I can't remember. Anyway. I assume Masato and his family did it like that. Acted it out, of course. How else are you supposed to play him? Oh boy. Who needs dice anyway? This way, it's all down to skill. No dice as well? No. Dice are imperative. This firm word from Irie shocks us into brief silence. Now, dice are pansy. You gotta have dice, how else are you gonna, you know, decide the outcomes and the consequences for your skill checks and all of that. The dice rule the world. Well, hey, you're a game master. Irie wins with a satisfied lowly. That was frightening. For a moment, I swear that Irie was radiating a death aura. It might be best to get on her good side. So, what should we do first? You must create a character. Wait, I must develop world lore. Irie narrows her eyes in concentration for a brief moment. Steampunk setting. You are in Aguilera Metropolis, a bustling city where clockwork machinery see to your needs, and humans find ways to reach the heavens. Your fortunes are blessed, placing you squarely in the middle class. The metropolis is enlightened and thriving. Of this, you are grateful. Please, choose one of the following classes. The Knight, a powerful yet cumbersome fighting type. The Heister, a rogue of sly mind and wit, with nimble fingers and feet. The Alchemist, a master of magical artifacts and elements with a scientific twist. The Doctor, a knowledgeable cleric. Generally, the girls. Really? Is it really? Is it gender locked? Healers? The Musketeer, a champion of firearms. The Engineer, an inquisitive innovator of ingenious inventions. The Entertainer, vulnerable to battle, but charming and convincing. Wait, did she really come up with that in just 5 seconds? Well, usually you read the handbook, right? But homebrew does exist, where you make up stuff on the spot. Well, maybe not on the spot, but like a little planning, right? Wow, they all sound so fun, I don't know what to pick. Well, let's see, what are the classes? Like a knight, a heister, a steampunk setting? What sounds cool? You know what I would pick? What would I pick? Well. I would pick something. So probably, you know, it's either Musketeer or Rogue or Heister, I guess. I'm always a sucker for those, for classes where you overcome challenges through wit and stuff, and Musketeer sounds cool because you get to use guns, and that's cool. And it's like because it's a steampunk setting, right? So it's not like, you know, it's not like an AK-47 or anything, but guns in the sense of you know, like muskets, right? Flintlocks and stuff. That sounds interesting as well. Entertainer sounds cool too, because you get to have interesting interactions with the NPCs, you know? That sounds cool too. Because, well, I don't know, like, certain, the way you play D&D, it's kind of like a little freeform, with a little structure, you know? Depends, there's like a battle system, there's dice you need to roll and stuff. But, how the game goes definitely depends on your game master, right? Whether it's like very like battle-centric, like a typical, you know, RPG video game, or very story-based and interaction-based. In which case, you know, a class that's based on charisma and stuff, and being persuasive might be good. But anyway, enough of that. Well, actually, well, I mean... Well, anyway, though, like, I was wondering, like, what would everyone pick, right? They probably pick different classes, right? But we might learn that soon. Ain't obvious, there's only one class. Here we go, time for Mercenary Masato, the unbeatable fighter. If I had to guess, Knight? The Doctor! Oh, the Doctor. That's... surprising. Wait, what? Masato, you know that the Doctor is the healing type, right? What, you think I'm an idiot? I've always wanted to be the cleric, but they always made me the fighter. Well, this is getting interesting. Very well, Masato. Doctor. Yeah, and like, in the beginning, I did say that, Masato does have a grasp on biology and stuff, right? Maybe he actually wants to be a real-life doctor, right? That's his calling, maybe. She doesn't seem fazed. As for me, I'll be a heister. Sounds exciting. Okay, you're the heister. And I'll try my hand at the musketeer. That fits for your aim. Yeah, remember in laser tag, she was like very good with the gun. I assume because she had some training since her father was the superintendent. I guess Akira, well, as a heister, I guess because she's just very mischievous, right? A very, like, what do you call it? I don't know, mischievous, whatever. I was trying to think of another word for her, but never mind. I can only... I mean, well, the other word for her would be, Chunibyo, but I don't know if that fits any of the D&D classes, really. She whips in my direction, ready for a snappy comeback, but then realizes that I was complimenting her. Yeah, I was saying you have good aim. Elizabeth, did you not expect that I would compliment you? Oh, thank you. Her aim was really impressive. I'll be an entertainer. Okay, well that makes sense, because she's from the drama club. Yeah, I was thinking Akira would also be an entertainer as well, maybe, because she's also in the drama club, but I guess Ryui would take that role. Oh, so useless? You say that when we're in a foreign nation and the only thing keeping us from the chopping block are my life skills. An entertainer could be really useful. Not that I'll say that aloud. So, Dr. Masato, Heister Akira, Musketeer Elizabeth, Entertainer Ryui. Yama, Misuki, and Yaiko remain. Yama, why don't you pick first? Sure. I overview the list of classes in my head. Logically, we should probably all pick different classes so that we're a balanced group. That leaves me with Alchemist, the Engineer, or the Knight. Being a Knight sounds like I'll just have to do a lot of fighting. Being an Alchemist sounds really cliché. I guess I'll be an Engineer. What do they do exactly? Oh, I guess we don't get to pick? Engineer stuff, of course. Yes, Akira, so I gathered. In that case, I'll be a Knight. What, not an Alchemist? Being an Alchemist sounds so boring. Knights are much more heroic and daring. Well, that's no surprise. Now to start. Whoa, hold up. Yago suddenly pops next to me, apparently done with ordering the budget-breaking 8 high teas. Master, my man, I thought we agreed that we don't need to use pen and paper. We did? Without responding, Yahiko reaches into his own backpack and displays something. No, some things around the table. Well, are we gonna do like, Merry Christmas, everyone! Are we gonna use tablets? It isn't Christmas. Yahiko's gifts are sight codes, gleaming with the shininess of newly released product. Oh, sight codes. Are they the glasses, or like devices in general? I assume they're the glasses, right? Like, I guess, Google glasses, augmented reality. Where could Yahiko have gotten these? Well, technically, these are just prototypes, but they should work amazingly well for our purposes. Oh. I guess, yeah, they're like the, yeah, the glasses, and we get to see everyone, and everything is already done automatically. Irie's the registered game master. Very cool. I was thinking, yeah. Wouldn't it be cool, like D&D, like, evolve from pen and paper to, like, augmented reality? I mean, there is, like, online D&D, right? There's, like a site where you can go to, where you can set up a D&D game, and you talk over, like, a, voice communication, voice chat, like Discord or something like that. You can set up D&D like that. But, well, the future would be to, like, have augmented reality, right? You see everything as if it's happening in front of you. That would be cool. As we fit the futuristic spectacles over our eyes, Irie taps the table with impatience. Yahiko, you must pick a class. Class? Well, strategically speaking, you should pick the remaining class, which is the Alchemist. Your command is my wish, milady. What's with the stares? Am I supposed to come up with a name and a backstory and all that? Well, if you insist. I'm 0.70 kilometers tall. Eyes are as blue as an Egyptian oasis. I was crafted by angels and fell from the heavens. My clothing is skin tight, which helps pronounce my amazing figure. What strikes you speechless, good minions, my dashing good looks? Well, that's exactly how I would put it. Hey, I have a great idea. Why don't we get started, Irie? Oh, thank you, Riri. That is not an idea at all, but very well. Our very literal game master proceeds to close her eyes, speaking in a soft, rolling tone, reminiscent of most skilled storytellers. Okay, I guess we were just playing tabletop role-playing. I wasn't expecting this. But I was expecting the game to end already after such a traumatizing event. But I guess we're just gonna like have one last hurrah with our friends. Well, no, well, not hurrah, but like, I mean, just hang out. I guess just more like slice of life comedy, like scenes. You know, nothing too dramatic. Just good old silly fun. But before we continue, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, again, like, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect the game to still have more stuff. I was expecting it to end in an hour, maybe even less than that, but still hasn't ended. Well,